How's it going, everybody? I'm back actually live streaming on a Saturday, so hope you guys are good. For those of you watching this on the recorded version as opposed to the live version, my name is Alexander Howell. Welcome to my channel, talk about travel and real estate. And if you want to know anytime that this goes live, just hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell. That'll let you know anytime that I'm here. So a little bit of just a couple of, about an hour and a half of time here that I'm able to get on and stream and talk to you guys. Haven't done it in quite some time. I've been a little sick, to be honest with you, for several weeks, just oddly, like kids bringing home stuff from daycare and elementary school and everything else. But I figured now's a good time and go through some of the news going on in Yucatan. There's a lot to go through. There's so many things that are happening, especially with regard to the airport. That was kind of a weird thing that I saw a few days ago. But yeah, I just figured that I just recorded a video and released it on Thursday. Got that thing edited down and got it out to you. This month has been a little spotty for me, just because of being sick. Like I had some weird issue internally that I was honestly worried I was going to lose my gallbladder and stuff like that. All the tests came back fine, CAT scan came back fine, and so I was planning on doing it then. But then they told me like I had to basically like lay in bed for a week, and then this last the week kind of on either side of that, kids brought stuff home, and I got hit the worst in the house with it. So I'm happy to be feeling good again, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video on Thursday. If I seemed a little lethargic, I was, but I did have a new setup. Actually, the green screen right here, you can kind of see. There's the green screen. That's kind of my parameters right now. I just shrink that down to build the studio that I have right behind it. But that's what it's going to kind of look like going forward. I've got to mess with the lighting and everything. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm gonna real quick try to see if I can make sure that I'm set up so I can see chat and everything in front of me and on screen. So my phone is there, and then I'll get it set up over here as well. But that way I can talk to you guys. And if you guys want to, again, please like this. It kind of like gets it out as we're chatting so that more people can see it. Hopefully hop in the live stream, who might discover something about Merida. And outside of that, if you want to ask a question or anything like that, go into the live chat. So if you're on your phone, you can see it. And then if you're watching this video now on YouTube, you can probably see it off to the side. It says top chat or something like that. And if you guys have any questions or just want to say what's up, just say what's up. How's it going? Good to see you on a crispy, cool Saturday morning in Kansas City. Next week we're actually getting good weather, but I saw this morning. I saw yesterday that the weather in Merida is starting to really top out, kind of hit inside of the hundreds. So I hope you're doing that. And again, this is like my setup's been kind of wonky. So if you guys notice anything that's a little bit strange, if the sound isn't coming through just fine, let me know because I can change that while I'm here. I'm speaking to you directly, as it were. So yeah, again, welcome back to the channel. I really love doing these live streams. I mean, the amount of times that I've kind of come either on here or if you are on Twitch, it's twitch.tv. It's a little bit more of a platform built around live streaming as opposed to YouTube, which is built more around these, video on demand kind of things like my entire channel is built on. But if you go to twitch.tv, my handle is Alexander from KC. I'm rarely on there, but I'm going through something. Every time I say this to you guys, by the way, I have like a complete social media plan, and then something kills it. It's like the kids get involved in another sport, or I get sick, or my wife travels and everything kind of goes crazy. So I actually have a plan coming up this summer on kind of being more on Twitch to do just some fun stuff, like just kind of hang out. I don't want to say gaming, but probably just do some things that are a little bit more chill. And then on here, obviously, because of the channel, it's going to be more based on subscribers coming into this and asking any questions that you guys might have similar to today. So if nobody has questions, what I'm going to do is eventually kind of go into looking at some articles that are happening via Yucatan Magazine and the Yucatan Times and stuff like that. Because again, with us coming out of COVID and with, the stuff with the airport and just kind of tourism rebounding, there are a ton of articles that I've seen pop up that have been very, very interesting. One of which, by the way, is an article that I actually posted to our Facebook group. And so if you go to the description of this video, you'll see the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/travel, the number 2 Merida. So travel to Merida. And it was an interesting article because it had to do, and I'm actually going to find the direct link that I put in that group real quick here so I don't waste time like going through the magazine and searching while you guys are here with me. But it was an interesting article because one of the things that I consistently hear on many of the Facebook groups and pages that I'm subscribed to is, and this is something that I really, and again, I kind of said it in my, when I shared the article, but I try to make our group more of a question and answer. Here's some information. Here's our house, like positive stuff. But there are several groups that get a little catty. And I'm not a big fan of cattiness. But the article has to do with, and I'm going to bring it up real quick right now and switch our view here. Boom. Okay. So it's Yucatan Magazine, yucatanmagazine.com, and the article is Merida residents and businesses return to battle lines over noise. I'm going to exit out of this ad. And so I found this really interesting. So this was posted March 31st of this year, so just a little more than a week ago. Get a drink real quick. My throat's getting dry. And again, if you are a part of the broadcast, please feel free to hit the like button, all that kind of stuff. I'd really appreciate it. Kind of gets it out to more people as I'm live. So that's it. But the article reads, as the city comes back to post-lockdown life, noise complaints have returned. Merida officials have sanctioned 15 restaurants and bars and other businesses since January for ignoring warnings about excessive noise, said Federico Sari Molina, head of the Department of Urban Development. Businesses can be forced to close between 2 and 3 weeks for noise violations. Now, the interesting part is kind of the rest of the article, and I'll just give you a little history about kind of what I've seen, what I've dealt with when it comes to some of these groups. And that is, when you are a part of these groups, a lot of the times that you'll hear somebody come in and they'll basically say, like, there was somebody playing on a noise on a loudspeaker advertising all day long. I can hear the restaurant, a couple of houses down or a couple of places down from me, and I think that's ridiculous. And there are a lot of people that will hop on them and say, if you don't like it, leave. Just kind of that blanket statement that honestly, in my opinion, helps nobody of, if you don't like it, leave. And I get that. And I get the mentality. And especially with a place like Merida, there isn't like a ton of zoning going on. So you can buy a house and transform it into a commercial structure at times. But the interesting thing that I found with this article, because of all of the things that I've seen in other groups, has to do with this last bit. Let's see if I can bring it up here so you guys can see it. And actually, I'm going to put it right here because it's the part right above my head. But it says, a citizen campaign by residents deprived of sleep was dismissed by critics who characterized the complainers as entitled gringos who should accept nightclubs as part of life in the centro. So this is what I was saying. Like, entitled gringos complaining about noise. Go away. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But most who turned out to the meetings were local parents or elderly nationals whose neighborhood had been largely residential until recent years. So basically, when this was brought up, it was kind of like looking at somebody like me who would say, this is kind of an issue. Why are there nightclubs that are playing music until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning this loud? And people were saying, basically, deal with it. According to this, when the magazine showed up and they saw the actual kind of town hall meeting, if you will, it was mainly residents that were there, parents, elderly individuals, but nationals. So I thought that was an interesting thing to kind of bring up and just say, like, wow, it's nice to have something like that, because I'm not somebody that complains about nightclub noise. I obviously like it. It's fun. We're, a block away from Eladios, and you can hear the music coming in to our house from there. When we visited our neighbors last time, we kind of stood up on their back patio, and it was very obvious that Eladios was right there playing live music. I don't mind that at all. But we also stayed at an Airbnb the last time we went down where they were playing music pretty loudly about a block away, about the same distance, until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So again, I think it's more of a be kind to all parties, but it is nice to kind of see the other side of it from a thing like this. I think I just saw somebody commented. Diamond Photography, how's it going? Can I find a bigger cup? No. Actually, I probably can. This is my cup. University of Missouri Tigers. It's got to be a big cup. And especially when I'm live streaming, I have to have a big cup to make sure I've got enough water because my voice is going out so I can talk to you guys for a long time. But yeah, I get it. I get it. It's cool to make fun. It's cool to make fun. I get it. Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining the chat. I said, man, just as a hey, friend, folks, how's it going? But good to see you. Thanks for joining the chat. Appreciate it. Merida House is in Armida. I swear I know where that is. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Armida. That's not what I was looking for. All right, awesome. Steve, what's up? So I said man to the right person. Good to go. Very cool. But yeah, so it's San Sebastian, Alameda neighborhood. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know. I gotcha. I know where you are now. Yeah. It's like I've heard that. I actually had a comment on my last. I think it was my last video, or maybe it was just like in the string of comments that I looked up. But somebody had said that I needed to make a video of all of the neighborhoods in Merida, and I was like, that's a fantastic idea. I do want to do that, but there are two big things that I have to deal with. One, if I made a video about every single neighborhood, Chembec, Santiago, Merida, Santa Lucia, San Sebastian, all those, it would be a very long video that nobody would really get through, or it would be a video that just didn't give enough information about every neighborhood. So I think what I'm going to do is when I go back down, find somebody that can drive me around to pretty much every neighborhood and take a bunch of B-roll footage, mark exactly where all of those things are, and then come back and take like 5 neighborhoods or 6 neighborhoods at a time and actually create a series that goes through each and every neighborhood. That way I can get opinions from people like you all that are from those areas, and also just kind of research it as much as possible so I can tell people like, here's the dimensions, here are the streets that it goes to, what are some fun things to do in that area, that kind of thing. So I thought it was a really good compliment. I thought it was a really good comment that I definitely need to continue with, but it was one of those like, man, that is one video I do not want to get wrong, and I do not want to just do like a skimming version because I feel like I would be attacked is the wrong word, but I think you know what I mean by attacked. What's going on, Steve? We'll be down again. We'll be down June 28th to July 13th. If we are not down, so our place should be completed near June, but my wife has something going on that could last. We think it's going to basically be canceled. So my wife is an attorney and she has a trial coming up. And it's a big trial that could last between 2 and 3 weeks. Oh, my back's killing me. And that's the only thing kind of keeping us away from actually making solid plans. So my guess is though, between your dates, we are probably going to be on the later side. So my hope would be that we're in around July 10th, 12th, somewhere in there. That way we can have an entire month in Merida, if that's possible. But we're gonna have to see. So, but yeah, we should be able to come down. I might be able to meet you up. Hopefully, I've had a bunch of people kind of reach out, even oddly in the last like week or two. I think people know that we're normally down during the summer. Of course, the time that you want to be at the Yucatan Peninsula is when it is hot everywhere else. But yeah, so we're thinking it's probably going to be between mid-July and August. So, but yeah, I'll let everybody know. The good thing about not only this channel but just kind of the other ways to communicate is that I can get out information. And what I'm hoping to do, I don't think I've said this on any of the videos, and I keep looking over here because that's where my computer is. But what I'm hoping to do is to go to find a cantina or a smaller restaurant, something, Hennessy's isn't small, but it's kind of known as the expat place, but find something like that where I can just say, I'm going to be there these hours, between this hour and this hour, and hold a few tables open or whatever, and see if I can get some of the subscribers and some of the listeners to the channel to come in and just do kind of a meet and greet, because I've really enjoyed meeting so many people on this channel. There are still people that I communicate with almost weekly that I still haven't met in person. So I'm hoping to do something like that where I can just basically say like, I'm going to be here between 12 and 3, meet me at Hennessy's at the Courtyard, and we'll hang out, share a drink, and chill. So that's the goal. Raphael, quick shout out. You are correct. It would be a long video as Merida's heading into hotter than Hades season. Yes, if you want to see me sweat through my shirt, make me walk through every single neighborhood in Merida and tell you about it. Especially right now, April is the lead up to May, and I've always been told that May. I've never been down there in May. Been down there close to May, but I've never been down there in May. But I've always been told that May is the hotter than, as you said, Hades season. We were down there last year, basically mid July through August, similar to what we're gonna do this time. And it was hot. Like again, you design the houses to make sure that they kind of consistently keep you cooled down. Thick concrete walls, you got some air conditioning, you got some good fans, you got good airflow, but there's only so much you can do when it's 104 outside. Steve, lucky you. I won't keep you, but we're good friends with Henry too. Sadly, he was out of our price range, but he's a great friend. Totally understand. Yeah, no, we that was, and I tell this to people. So a lot of people, as I'm sure you guys know from the videos, a lot of people do contact me and they basically say, "Hey, how much does it cost to do what you're doing?" And I think seeing what we've done, and especially in some of the early videos where the plans weren't as big as they are. By the way, Steve, don't worry about keeping me. You're good to go, man. But this is what I like. I like doing the chat part. But no, it was one of those things that we started out thinking, okay, we're gonna stay around, the 300, 350 mark. And then when we saw what we could do, putting more and more into it, and knowing that this was going to be a place that we, basically our kids are going to inherit, that we weren't going to sell, it really quickly became like, this is going to be where we retire. It's going to be here and the Lake of the Ozarks that we retire to. Let's make it what we want. And we had the ability to do that. And some people don't. Some people, have to add on. But it was just one of those like, let's just do it. Let's go all out. And so when I think about Henry, that was a part of the equation. It was like, if we're going to do all of that, I'm willing to, spend a little bit of a premium to work with them. And again, I totally understand anybody who was like, nah. I mean, Jason, one of the guys that's one of my first subscribers on this channel, one of the people who helps me out as a moderator on the Facebook group, he found another builder and he's like, loved Henry, clicked with this guy better. And I think that's the best thing you can possibly do is when you find the right person, you latch on, whether it's price, the ability to just work together, understand what everybody's needs are. That's the important thing. It's not always the name. We just felt really comfortable. And then when he sent us his first designs, I was like, yeah, that's probably the guy. So cool. I'm just glad you found somebody, man. It's awesome. Who did you find, if you don't mind me asking? I'd love to hear the name. I'm trying to build up a list so when people ask, I can tell them. I would lose a lot of weight. Yeah, I actually lost thanks to all this sickness. I ended up losing about 10 pounds. Not the way I would have chosen to lose 10 pounds. I'd much rather hop on the treadmill, which most people probably think is ridiculous. But if you knew what I was dealing with, you would have been like, treadmill sounds great. But yeah, I think that's the funny thing. I'll tell you a story real quick. It's kind of like Merida, but it's not. And by the way, if you hopped in, welcome to the live stream. It's good to have you here. And if you don't mind, please feel free to hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. My big cup. But so we went to Italy about 10 years ago or so and did the whole thing. Like flew into Rome, saw the Colosseum, did the whole walk around the city, saw just the amazing sights that Italy has to offer. And it's such an interesting thing to do. But then we went up to Florence, got a car, came back into to Tuscany, went to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, went to the ocean, see the Mediterranean, and then went up to Florence to stay 3 days there. We ate and drank without holding ourselves back at all. And this is Italy. This is like every type of food that I love. I love Mexican food, like true Mexican food, but I love Italian food. My wife and I are kind of switched. Her number one is Mexican food. Her number two is Italian. Switch for me. I'm Italian, Mexican. I'm happy to have either, but I love Italian. So I ate everything in the world that I could. But we also walked 17 miles a day, basically. I think that's what we averaged when we were in Florence and when we were in Rome. Tuscany, a little different. But we got back, I was expecting to have put on at least 10 pounds. Like, it's only 10 days or so, but I was expecting like 10 pounds. Easy. I lost 3 because we were smart. And instead of just like taking a car everywhere like we would here, we ate and then we walked. So, Merida, same exact thing. I try to walk everywhere there. It has the added benefit of being hotter than you know what, Hades, right? So, yeah, it worked out. Sorry, my kid just ran right above my head upstairs. I'm in the basement. But like it's the same thing. It's like every time we go to Merida, I expect to come back and just be a pig, and I'm not. I actually weigh pretty much the exact same every time. I think the only thing that kind of holds me back is there's a little salt and pretty much everything. Carlos de Barrera. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna actually copy and paste him, trying to decide if my kid is down here. Sorry, just gonna real quick here. Gonna copy, paste, Carlos Herrera. I'm assuming Architeco is probably it. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Sweet. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Like I said, I get, there are so many people that ask me, like, who did you guys use for your architect? And then, with Henry, he's amazing. I think his work speaks for himself, but it's nice to have a secondary person to say, or a third person or a fourth person to say, hey, I actually know somebody that follows me that used this person. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Very much appreciated. So I'm going to go back real quick to my normal view if I can figure out where I am on this. There we go. There's my big fat head. Want to look at a couple of things to make sure that I'm still keeping up on life, I guess. Good to go. Henry and Victor Cruz are the two best, especially if you like colonials. Yep, 100% agree. And we had heard about Victor, but what really hit we, and I say this to pretty much everybody. I think I've said this several times in videos. We just got really lucky because our agent Elizabeth Rodriguez suggested, she was like the person that was suggested on a lot of the Facebook groups that we were part of at the time, and then she recommended Henry. So we were like, okay, well, if she recommends this guy and she's actually worked personally with him before, let's meet up with them. And we were very impressed on the phone call. But I'm in real estate. I worked new construction for several years. I'm used to how builders talk. And so I was like, all right, well, let's see what he can do. And then when he sent us back the actual design plans, it was like, this is the guy I want to work with, because it was just so, everything that he used was so, I don't know how to describe it unless you're in the environment, but it's like, it was just perfect. It was everything that we wanted in the space that we had. It was like very little removal of a lot of things. Construction is what it is. It's always going to increase in price, but it was nice to see somebody with that. So we would have interviewed Victor as well. Probably would have interviewed a few more, but when we got introduced to him, when we started like really talking to him and working with him, it was just, we clicked. That's all that matters. And now we're about done. So that's really what matters. We're about done. David, good to see you. Good afternoon, KC area residents and wife is a real estate agent as well. Spending a few days in Merida and 2 weeks before a week in Shuburna. Keep the videos coming. Thank you, David. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And KC residents unite. I'd be interested in what part of Kansas City you're from. We're Lee Summit, so we're Southland. I live about 10 minutes from where I grew up in Raymore, but we've lived. When I met my wife, she was in Riverside. We've lived in North Lee Summit, Blue Springs, down here. Had rental property and everything, kind of all over the city. So, as you probably know, when you're in real estate, you kind of you learn the lay of the land as it is. Man, I don't know what I think laying down for like a couple of weeks because I've been sick. My back is kind of not used to me sitting in my chair. But let's see. There was another couple of articles that I wanted to show because I look them up real quick here while we're just talking. Oh, you live in Holden. That's so cool. So my wife is from Independence. Your wife's office, you said, is in Blue Springs. You work in Independence and she works in Blue Springs. That's awesome. We had a big brick house. I don't know where she is in Blue Springs, but we had a big brick house just to the east, like 30 seconds east of Blue Springs South High School. You can't miss it if you're driving by it. And we sold that and moved in here. But we love Blue Springs. Holden, though, that's so cool that you live there. this is one of the things I love about live streaming is I get to talk to you guys and hear some stuff like this. My dad grew up in Holden. He had to leave his senior year. He was the quarterback of the football team. Would have graduated in 1973. They went to like district championships in '72. Called the school actually to verify all of this, but his he speaks glowingly of Holden, even though obviously small town and that kind of thing. But I think some of his happiest memories are there. So I hope it's doing the same for you. That's really cool, David. Thanks for coming in chat. That makes my day, man. That's awesome. So cool. When I stream on here, I see people that are kind of like within the parameters of obviously my subscribers get the notifications, and every once in a while I'll see somebody hop in on live and stuff like that. But one of the more interesting things is when I live streamed on Twitch for a while, and I'm gonna again do that in about a couple of weeks. I've just got to get the game plan together. But I would talk to people from like South Korea and Poland and Spain and Mexico and then of course the US. But it was just kind of interesting to see the different time zones with people that I was speaking with in different countries that they were from. Here it's definitely more a centralized um, feel, which is cool. But having somebody that like is living where my dad grew up, that's really cool. That's awesome. Steve, we've rented 3 of his homes. Oh, nice. What'd you think? His design style is very consistent. And we're talking about Henry Ponce. Henry's design style is incredibly consistent. Like where I see the differences of what he does isn't in like the way that he designs things, because it's almost a mid-century modern feel if you look at some of the things that he uses, but he really does kind of have a knack for using space in a very perfect way, but he utilizes the materials in a very similar way. Like utilizes the same materials. Give me 3 seconds. I'm gonna let my dog upstairs real quick. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. I was talking about Henry and his houses, but yeah, that's the make sure my camera's focused. But that's kind of the thing with him is I feel like he utilizes space really, really well, and all of his spaces are fairly unique. But once he puts the elements in, that's where you can tell his true design style. So his expertise is utilization of space. His signature are the materials that he uses. So that's pretty cool. But I'm interested to hear what you thought of his houses that you rented, because I know with ours, like we're pulling out all the stops. it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting showcase of what he's done. We have two kind of actually sorry guys, my back is killing me. We have two very I'm trying to state it correctly, because the house is set up to where you have to like go through a courtyard to get to 2 bedrooms, then go through that courtyard to get to the living room. So you have kind of the front space, you have 2 bedrooms in the courtyard, and then you have the kitchen, which you could technically say is broken up space, but they're all attached. But there's kind of like the main first floor with the 2 bedrooms and kitchen, a media room, and all that. And then there's the pool area, but then the master is actually its own separate structure, which you probably have seen from either the pictures on Instagram, which I haven't mentioned yet. But if you follow me on Instagram at Alexander from KC, is in Kansas City, so at Alexander from KC, it's in the description down below. But you can see like the construction progress, but the master bedroom is its own separate unit, and that's one of the things that we really liked about it, because we're going to keep that kind of locked off for rentals, so people won't be able to rent that. That way we can put our stuff in there. If we end up having bikes or whatever it is, everything can go in that room, and then people can rent the 2 bedrooms on the downstairs that are by the courtyard, and then of course there's an entire apartment above the main area of the home. So there's 4 bedrooms and 2 true living spaces, and then of course the master. But it's interesting to kind of see how he put that all together. And the moment that he did his first design, I was like, yeah, you're better than me. 3 of his homes. Roger Gonzalez Escalante is also amazing. Check him out. I will. I'm going to copy his name real quick. Every time you give me a name, I'm literally just going and I'm copying it. And when it says Architecto, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. But I'm printing that. That's awesome. Thank you. Seriously, Steve. Thank you very much for helping me out of this. I've got a list of architects that I send people, and I always put Henry's name at the top. But I love just giving people options because it's nice to be able to say like, "Hey, I know people that have worked with this guy or recommend him in some way, shape, or form." So very cool. I like it. By the way, thank you guys for liking the video. Much appreciated. Again, all it does, one, like it helps the algorithm, so it kind of like gets the video out. But the biggest thing is like when I'm live, like more people tend to pop in. So I don't know what that does. I just know that it happens. So thank you for doing it. Like I said, there are ways to join the channel and become patrons of the channel, which are in the description down below. But the easiest thing that you can do for me is like, and it's totally free. So yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. I'm nerding out for a second. I'm looking at his Instagram. Oh yeah, he does some pretty cool tradition. Here, let me bring him up real quick here. Get here. So I believe this is who you're talking about. This is what it sent me to. But you can kind of tell he does like kind of the more traditional look. I mean, look at this. Jeez. This one right here. That is a heck of an entryway, man. That's a facade anybody wants to come home to. Very cool. Check them out. Henry's homes work well in Merida. Lots of open spaces, perfect lines, and his kitchens are also great. Hard to put into words, but his homes are like a work of art. Totally agree. Yep. That's awesome. I'm glad you felt the same way because like when you go to see Henry's, which I've done, and I'll bring him up too. I'm just really enjoying Roger's stuff because like this is like look at this. It's the same house, but look at this facade. Like this one right here. Can I can't bring that up any further. No. Go to Roch Gonzalez. That's his Instagram if you guys want to see. That is one of the coolest facades I've ever seen. Like especially for a house in Merida, like that or Merida. That's just beautiful, man. Thank you for showing me that, Steve. I might have to meet this guy. Again, I'm always going to choose Henry, but this dude, this is impressive. Like look at that. Look at this. Wow. I'm so sorry you guys are only getting part of this. Let me see if I can adjust. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna remind me to adjust it later, but this is what Instagram is making me do. This is so cool. What a good find. He earned a follow, for sure. Let's go up here real quick. I'm gonna follow him. Hopefully Henry's not jelly. Cool picture of Merida right here. Look at that. Man, the day I learn how to take a decent picture is the day that I'm going to have a really good Instagram. CB said, teachers in Canada, not rich, don't go out to dinners ever. We say you save every penny possible to make this dream come true. That's awesome. And by the way, thank you for being a teacher. I'm a very, outside of the last couple of weeks, normally very healthy person, always have been, knock on fake wood. I actually just signed up to be a substitute. I have a lot of stuff going on, but I was like, I talked to a bunch of teacher friends of mine that basically said that they were, the school districts were having a lot of issues finding subs, and especially the one that my kids are in. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll talk to them. And they basically said, yeah, sign up. So I ended up signing up to be a sub. So hopefully I'll be able to get that going for what is left of the year. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens from there. But thank you for being teachers, man. That's awesome. You stayed at Rogers Homes too. Sweet. I'm excited. You know, the funny thing about Merida is, and I don't want to say funny, that always sounds kind of weird, but the interesting thing, at least that I feel, is when you do go out, like the cost of living is so much less. And you know, I always tell people in these videos, like, don't take advantage. Like, don't. I'm moving to Merida because I want things to change and you know be perfect for me, and I'm going to take advantage of the cost of living. But it is incredibly cheap to be able to live down there. So as long as you get your real estate set up and you kind of get your life in order, it's a great retirement destination, without question. It's an amazing place. So I'm happy for you guys. Casa Hermana. Roger House. Let's see. All right. Roger. Casa Hermana. Run and don't look back. Okay. Saramana, Roger, Yucatan. Let's see. Roger Gonzalez. Here we go. All right. You guys can see that. Awesome. So let's check this out. This is a beautiful house. I got to be honest, and this isn't anything negative to him. I'm not a fan of green, that color especially. I don't know why. Let's talk about this real quick. I love this rock right here. This is just exposing the actual like wall behind the polished stone, and especially I learned this working on our house, especially with older areas of the home like this. The concrete isn't built very well, so the moisture gets absorbed, and then you have to paint it every year. But if you leave this stuff exposed, it apparently allows the whole wall to dry out, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. So that looks really cool. I like that. Cruzy, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. It's awesome to see you again. I know you changed your name. I'm calling you by that, if that's cool. You've got the you got the cool direwolf for being a member. Man, that's awesome. I love those things. I love being able to show that, and I love the fact that I was able to do direwolves. Again, guys, I'm a huge Game of Thrones nerd. I know probably most of you that are on here probably answered stop being a nerd and make videos, but I mean, come on. Like, this is my chair. It's Game of Thrones. That's why those are there. Awesome. Love the name. I'm doing well. Yourself? Hope you're finding yourself well. When I bought this chair, it was one of those things that I had to talk to my wife and say, I know this is ridiculous, but I have to have it. And they had a Targaryen one, which I Team Stark, baby. Team Stark. I almost got the Lannister one, but I didn't like the colors. See, this is what I'm talking about with this designer, Steve. Like this is a great thing. Like look at this room. Like that is just like he's got the pasta tile going, big poster bed, but look, I mean, look at this. That is just beautiful with the trim and everything. That fan looks like it's hitting the wall. I hold on, I got to get off camera for a second. Sorry, dealing with some nose issues. Anyway, fun part about live streaming. But this guy knows what he's doing. This is amazing. Completely different look than Henry's stuff. Like I'm definitely happy that we're moving into a Henry house, but this guy is off the charts good at what he does. Look at this bathroom. That's a bathroom you can live in, quite literally. House is also only 250. That's only 250 a night, and right in Santa Ana. Jeez, that doesn't make me feel good about mine. 3-bedroom rental. Ours is 4. Way more. It should be way more expensive. I mean, this is beautiful. This is great. It's 175 to 300 USD a night. If you look at that outdoor little tub, awesome. You don't need the modesty wall. Don't be modest. It's Merida, baby. Figure it out. Cruz, you said good house goes on the market next week. What do you mean? I mean, I'm in real estate. Lots of good houses go on the market next week. What are you talking about? Are you putting yours on? Master bedroom upstairs. He's known for his bathrooms. I can tell he's known for his bathrooms. Oh, you can see it. There it is. There's a shower that we just saw, and it goes right out here. And it looks like this is a hinged window, so you can shower and then jump into a pool that you just made yourself. Oh, selling your house in Alberta. Congratulations. That's awesome. Are you excited or worried? Selling is always fun, in my opinion, but it's the moving out that's terrifying. If we moved out today, I'd be terrified. I'd probably just want to leave everything outside of like 3 things. One step closer is right. Look at that. That is, man, this guy knows how to build a house. This is cool. Again, it's so funny because like it's nice to be able to have somebody like this to recommend to others because Henry's houses don't look like this. Like they're definitely more modern. This is a very, I don't want to say perfect bathroom spot. I love that. This isn't a quote unquote traditional house, but like some of these main rooms, they look like traditional rooms. I mean, look at the hood, the cabinets. I mean, It's definitely modern, but also traditional. That's great. Oh, you see the same thing I was just talking about with the exposed part of the wall to allow for the wall to stay dry or as dry as it will. Not worried at all. Good for you. That's awesome. Just moving my computer, I think, would give me a heart attack these days. Also, if anybody is knows of a really powerful way to like, I have a really good laptop, but I tried editing on it as opposed to my PC, which I'm on right now. It was rough, and I've got a pretty good laptop. So if anybody has any suggestions about laptops that allow for really good video editing, I'm all ears. I know that's kind of random and has nothing to do with this channel. Oh, that's really cool, but I would appreciate advice. This is cool, and this is one of those. So let's talk about this in Merida. When you're looking at houses, I always try to tell people, and I do this in Kansas City, but especially in Merida, which, by the way, thank you for the people that are watching this right now. If you don't mind, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to stop doing that. But in Merida, when you're talking about like outside living spaces, it is like almost ludicrously important to have them be covered with fans. Because even though you're thinking like, no, I want a nice open space, like I know you do, and I get it, I really get it, but you will not use it because you don't even understand the heat that comes in down there. All of the spaces that we've used for an extended period of time, and I'm talking about even including the beach where there's a breeze, unless I want to go out and get a tan or go get in the pool and be in the pool, I want high walls and covered spaces if I'm hanging out outside because you still get the nice breeze, you still get the nice stuff, but it gets so ludicrously hot, and that sun is something I've never seen in my life. In one of my earliest videos, I said one of my best pieces of advice that I can give you is if you are walking a long distance in Merida, pay attention to the sidewalks, and whichever one is dark, go to that one because there is a huge difference walking 5 blocks of Merida in the sun on the sunny side of the street and the shadowy side of the street. Like the shade will save your life. So, number one piece of advice about going to Merida. And again, guys, if you're in the chat, please feel free to hop into the live chat section. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. And if I don't know the answer, we'll look them up together. That's why I'm here. I'm just going to keep looking at this house because it's super cool. Again, covered patio. Love this trim. That is so cool. And this is it's not similar. It's similar only in layout, but this is kind of what we're doing where we've got like the covered patio area, second floor, but this one's covered in ours. I'll go to my Instagram and show you guys what we're up to in a second. But like pool right outside of it. Very similar design to a lot of places in Merida. Here, let's go to Instagram. Oh, somebody followed. Yay, profile. So here's the latest pictures of ours. Actually, those aren't even the latest. I just realized we got some pictures late last night that show that we have grass. So they actually drained the pool, so that makes me sad. Actually, you can see the pool is filled. But this is our house, and it looks almost exactly like the renderings, which is just so cool. But there will be two fans up here, there'll be a fan here and a fan here. There's at least 20 steps going up because I believe these are 14 or 16-foot ceilings. Very tall. But yeah, I'm so ecstatic. These lights right here, those are there because we were getting bat poop all over the walls. You just see little brown, tiny little streaks, and it's bat scat. They were eating whatever was there. So they put those lights up, and that apparently deters them without doing anything bad or negative or anything like that. Eduardo, what's going on? I'm planning to retire in 2 years. Looking forward to go to Merida and buy a house or apartment. Best advice, I'm from New York City. Best advice, go there. And I don't mean that as like a wiping off of you asking a question. What I mean is Merida is amazing. Best advice would be one, of course, find a great realtor. I recommend Elizabeth Rodriguez with Yucatan Beach and City Property. I've put her information on pretty much everything, but if you literally type in Yucatan Beach and City Property.com, That's her website. She has a great team. Nicholas Sanders or Saunders, I think it's like Nicholas Sanders. Either way, he's a fantastic agent. He was actually the one that listed the property that we purchased. They are great. Our notary, especially the attorneys that work there, were fantastic. It's Notaria 11. I guess Notaria 11, and they helped us through the entire process, got everything through. So between those two people, I would say listen to the rest of the chat. I'm sure everybody has their favorite realtor and who they recommend. But me personally, Elizabeth Rodriguez, Nicholas Sanders of Yucatan Beach and CityProperty.com, and then Notaria 11 just knocked it out of the park for us. So that would be like the first thing. And then the other thing is listen to fantastic people like me and Steve that know architects, and he just listed two that are absolutely amazing. And I'd say, and I'll actually try to put those in maybe the notes. Maybe I'll put this in the description after I stop the live feed. But interview as many architects as you possibly can and find the ones that share your vision. We got lucky, found somebody we're incredibly happy with initially, but interview as many as you can. Gringo pricing is real, but at the same time, there are ways to save. Again, just like Steve and I have been talking about during this video or during this live stream, we went with an architect that is, he's more expensive, but we have loved every bit of the result, and it's been worth it. If you want to save some money, there are incredible architects around. So just take a look. But if you have any other questions, keep going in the chat. I'm happy to answer. Steve, go on Airbnb and look at Merida Casa San Juan. Also, Roger. We stayed there for a week and were blown away. It was once a convent. Just stupidly good. Nice. Yeah. Remind me, because I do have a terrible memory, and we'll do that. I'm going to show off my place because, I mean, come on, right? But yeah, we'll do that for sure. Jose Cano, hey, what's going on? Man, looks really nice. Congratulations, Mr. Howell. Can imagine how excited you and your family are. Thank you so much for that comment, and we are terribly excited. It's one of those things like we only have one payment left. We have one kind of the final payment. It's going to be a big payment. I'm not excited about it, but after everything else, yeah. And it's like to see the result of everything that's happened. Man, thank you for that comment, because it's been a long time coming, but I'm really, really excited. I don't think I can even come close, though, to how excited my wife is. This has been a dream of hers for so long. She works so hard. She's an attorney in Kansas City. She has just consistently, and I do a little husband bragging here for a second. She has just consistently like worked so hard throughout our relationship and way before. And to see her kind of like achieve the dream that she has, pretty cool thing. So thank you very much for that. It's awesome. Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's go to some other pictures here. So this is at night. And again, the pictures that they just sent us were of this too, but you can kind of see it a little bit better. So for those of you, we just talked about that Roger build. This is not that. This is actually rock that they put up. You can kind of see that it perfectly goes in to this little garden over here. So that's just design. But on here, they've got the pretty like kind of flowering plants or whatever you call those. I can't remember. But then this is just grass. We wanted a grass area. This is way bigger than what it looks like. It's so funny. This looks like it's this little bitty thing. This is a huge space, but you're so high up that it doesn't look like it at all. So this is a very large space. Like you play a good game of catch right here, and have some room side to side. Like I bet this is at least 12 foot wide, 10, 12 foot wide. And then whatever this is, 30 feet minimum. So this is a good space, but that's all grass. And then this side is like plants. We're going to have lime tree, tangerine, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Just saw somebody commented. Eduardo, about the weather of Merida. Thank you. You always watching videos. About the weather in Merida? I love the weather. It's about the oh, I see what you're saying. About the weather. May's hot. You're about to get into the hottest season here. So especially you said you didn't say where you're from. It's cool. You don't, oh, you said New York City. Yeah. I was going Alberta, New York City. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's hot. The positive is, let me get a drink real quick. Just bounced in my eye. That's fun. So the positive about the weather is that it is scorching hot and during the day. On the off season, like May is the hottest, so September, October, November, still going to be 80s, 90s. Like it's not, it never gets cold. The positive is one, you get used to it pretty quick. I mean, we've been down there for a month one time and then 3 weeks the following year. And within, honestly, for me, 5 days or so, I was getting used to the heat. You just understand that you're going to sweat, is what it is. Wear clothes accordingly. But we just kind of understood that that's what it was. And you get used to the heat and it's just not a big deal anymore. And when it gets scorching hot, number one piece of advice, stay inside or under something, is what it is. But at night, when the sun goes down, man, the temperatures, you can't get it better. And I mean that honestly. Like, I'm from Kansas City where we have, we'll go negative degrees Fahrenheit to 100 plus degrees Fahrenheit. Kansas City actually has a higher record temperature than Merida does. We swing crazy to like 100 plus degrees between summer and winter. And I know New York can get super hot too, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Merida is pretty consistent. Now, again, there is a hot season, there is a cooler season, but during the night, you're walking around and it's 75 degrees with a nice cool breeze. I mean, it is phenomenal. And you'll see a lot of locals are coming out kind of like at dusk. So that would be as far as weather is concerned. Don't worry about the heat. It gets hot. When you go down, plan on chilling out in your place or going to like inside spaces during the day. Walk the streets at dusk and in the morning, and especially at night. Especially if you're going to like Paseo de Mateo, which is the main street in Merida. You're going to see some cool stuff there, but it's going to be a really nice atmosphere at night. I have several videos. One that I did, and I can't remember exactly what the title is, but if you go back into my content, it was literally like our three. I think it's called 3 weeks in Merida, Mexico, and it's like a circle, and it's got the country here, but it's called I think it's called 3 weeks in Merida, Mexico, and I have a lot of street angles and views of that at night. So check that out. Yeah. After this though, stay on here and ask questions. Sorry, I just went on a rant. Let's see. Cruzy, haha, agreed. Steve, we can help anyone too. Bought a ruin for 40,000 American. Man, you got a deal. It's like a billion Canadian. 10 years ago. Oh, you bought it 10 years ago. Nice. Good call. we thought we got a deal. You got it for 40. Nice. We slowly and surely do renovations when we have some extra cash. Good plan. That's what you can do. Especially if your goal is retirement. It's like everybody says, like, you got to live for today. It's like, or you can live for a long time. Like anything can happen on a day-to-day basis, but smart thing, just doing a little bit at a time. You can do this, anyone can. Exactly. Raphael, by the way, are you I'm only asking this because I want to make sure because um my Brazilian friends like do not pronounce the R the same way, so it's like Renato. So I just want to make sure I'm not saying Raphael and it's Rafael or something like that. So let me know that if you don't mind. But I'm just going to say Raphael now. Um, you must have a lime tree in Mexico. Fresh margaritas are a requirement. Not only should we have a lime tree, and we will, but I've also been told that we have to have a lime juicer in our kitchen. Like that I've been yelled at about that several times in live streams and videos. Like the thing you have to get is the lime juicer. So I'm going to get one. And I'm sure I will find out why, but I make vodka tonics. So I slice the lime and then I throw it in. So, but good call. I agree. Cruzy, so looking forward to the weather there. I can follow it on Weather Network soon. Fabulous plan. Yeah. Yeah, I mean it really is amazing. Like you will sweat 5 pounds during the day when it's hot in Merida, and then you'll go out at night and it's this like beautiful cool breeze. It's just so nice. Like where this picture's taken, where the picture's taken that's on my screen right here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, I guess I can move. Oh, you can see the pool. You can see the steps. I'm very sad that the water got removed. I'm just being honest. Just being honest, guys. I think we're coming up on an hour on the live stream. So thank you all, by the way, for being a part of this live stream. It's awesome to do this on Saturdays and stuff. Kids are, I believe, starting to wake up. So I'm probably going to get called up in the next half hour or so, but we're going to stick around as long as we can. But yeah, so I just left on the beautiful picture of our water system for the pool. I know that's what you guys came here for. That's the content that you're looking at. Some of the lights in the water. So this big thing, if you're wondering, that's a water feature. So the water comes out of this thing, kind of drips onto this, drips over here, and then comes down this. So that's the water feature. Water feature is very important to me because as cool as pools are, there's something about the sound of water. Like I actually have right out here our pool in the city, which just got opened up about last in the last week or two. We have a water feature out there, and it's so nice to just be able to go out there and hear it rumbling. And our neighbors, I've told them, I was like, if you need me to shut it off when I'm not out there, I will. Every single one of our neighbors was like, no, it's cool. You can leave it on. So I do. Again, my back is so messed up. Just saw somebody said something. Ahmad, how's it going? Heading there next week, thinking should take lots of shirts. I would take lots of shirts. Yeah, lots of light shirts that do not show sweat. I don't know what color yours is, but like a light blue cloth, not a good plan. At least with me, I get the nice rings right here, and like I sweat so much, it's like chest, back, everything. I have to drink a lot of water, um, because I sweat so much. So I would bring lots of shirts, lightweight shirts, flowy shirts, if you will. And yeah, but that's really it. Like it's super easy. Like, and basically the only time you recognize it is when you like get back to your room and you're like, this is sticking to me, and then you change it. But like out at restaurants, walking down the street, it's not a big deal. Everybody's sweating, not a big deal. But definitely do it. So I have to tell you this, Steve. I just got your message, and it's asking if it's okay to show it, and I'm gonna show it, so it's gonna be on there. But YouTube held it back for a second, so that's hysterical. So I'm just gonna put it here. Um, I will answer it in just a second. We're gonna hold suspense. I'm gonna answer a couple of other questions. The R is pronounced. Okay, thank you, Raphael. Appreciate it. The R is pronounced. Metal lime juicer is the best. Thank you for that advice. Soriano or Wally World. I love Soriano. I'm a big fan. So I will take your advice to get a metal one, and we'll go there. Um, so Steve, let's get back to your question about toilet paper. That's hilarious. Yes. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, and pretty much everybody in chat probably is familiar with Mexico, especially like Latin American countries, and honestly a lot of countries worldwide, you're normally told do not flush your toilet paper. And there are several reasons for that. But when we redid our house, that was one of the questions that we had for Henry. It was like, is this something that we can do? Because we wanted to have that. And basically, yes, we like all the pipes to the street have been replaced, and that street has wide enough pipes where it's all good. There are still, yeah, if I can talk, there are still certain people that will not. So I'm sure we'll still have waste baskets like you see in certain countries, but we will have the ability to flush our toilet paper down the toilet. I know that's a weird question for Americans and Canadians to kind of wrap their head around, like, well, yeah, of course you do. But in Merida, not normally, but because the entirety of our house has new plumbing, wide PVC plumbing, yes, you will be able to flush toilet paper. So, good question though, and it's so funny that got flagged. And yours will? Good job. Nice. I'm on. Cool. Exactly. Let's see. Jose, I had the Chayo with Lima drink. So refreshing. I think Chaya is a native tree in Yucatan. I believe so. Half of the restaurants and stuff are named that, like La Chaya Maya and stuff like that. So I hope it is. But yeah, I actually have not had that. I need to try it. It's in several places, but I've got to look back. I'm so behind on my Instagram comments. I had somebody say like you have to go here for that, um, because everybody has an opinion, and I was like, all right, cool, I will, and I promptly forgot it. Like I said, terrible memory. So there we go. Mercado the juicer, handmade and cheaper. Okay. What I'll probably do is just get a lot of juicers because this has become like a pretty consistent thought process. Is you have to get the lime juicer. So I'm just gonna go with the idea that we will have many, 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 just in case one breaks too. It's kind of like having a mixer for margaritas and smoothies and that kind of thing. Like the moment that one breaks, you better have a backup. Is it common that new developments have larger PVC pipes? It is 100% dependent on the development. So I have a video. Um, I can't remember what the title is, but I talk about the new stadium that they're thinking about building in Norte, in the north part of Merida, as well as the first skyscraper, quote unquote, that Merida has. And I think the skyscraper is 36 stories. So it'll be just a little bit taller than those two big apartment complexes that they have in the Northland. But one of the questions was like, how is the current sanitation system up north going to handle all of this? Because with the builds that have gone on up there, like Costco, the malls, and several other things, like several of the developments, they have seen some issues prop up where just having wastewater filtered through properly has been kind of an issue. So what I would say is, when you're looking at new developments, especially because most of them are in the north, Centro is a lot of renovation. The north is definitely a lot of the more new developments, and then the area between Merida and Progreso, or even sometimes Merida and Telchac, you'll see some newer developments go on out there. What I would personally suggest is just research the absolute heck out of those developments. Ask your realtor, ask every Facebook group, ask everything, because there are, my personal opinion, I'm just going to say this. If I bought a brand new house and there was an issue with the plumbing, that to me is a nightmare scenario, because I just paid for a brand new development and now the thing that's under my feet in concrete has issues. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So I would say, but I have heard that, like, even in some of the new developments, some parts of those new developments will flood. That means that sewage is going different ways. That also means another thing, which I'll get to in a second, but there are issues. So what I would do is basically go into every single new development, new condo, new house, as the biggest sleuth in the entire world, and just try to figure out everything and go everywhere and ask everybody's opinion, and then ask your realtor, and then ask the developer. I mean, again, it's international real estate, so asking questions is a positive, but that's something to think about. What I was going to say about, like, what I'll talk about in a second has to do with the water table in Yucatan. So Yucatan is very, very flat as a pancake. And so when you are, like, we stay normally at the Hyatt Regency, and the Hyatt Regency is, I don't know, 19 floors tall, maybe something like that. It's not a huge building, but it's tall. And we stayed on either the top floor. I think we stayed on the top floor, or this floor just before. It was like 19 or 18 or something like that. But we were pretty high up. But in Kansas City, or in 9,000, 95% of places around the world, you can't see miles and miles just from the 19th floor. Here you can. You can see all the way to the beach, basically, from the 19th floor. The only thing that changes is the curvature of the earth that far out. So one of the issues that Yucatan has is its water table is real shallow to the ground. So even if you have systems like sewage systems that are pumping water, or like letting water go where it should, there's not much elevation. So even in some of those old neighborhoods where they've done everything they can to alleviate the issue of water going away, they still have to deal with the water table rising. This is why some of the tunnels that kind of go under on Paseo de Mateo will shut down from time to time. They can't pump it out fast enough, and there's nowhere to pump it. So again, be a sleuth. It's something to think about, but something to keep in the back of your mind. Sorry, again, another rant. Chat again one day. Keep spreading the word of Merida. Take care and stay safe. You too, Steve. Hope I didn't miss you leaving, but really appreciate it. Peace out, man. Have a good one. There's a kind of Chayamaya, a restaurant in Centro. They have two locations, not too far from each other. I know, we actually went, we've gone to both. The first restaurant that we went to in Merida proper was Chayamaya, because it just happened to be like the location. It was the corner location that we found. And then we found the one just, what would that be? Just to the south, like literally looking at, but to the south of Parque de Santa Lucia. So I love it. It's a great place. I had like one issue there, and I can't remember what it was now. It's like something with the drinks or something like that. But good place. Pretty much everybody goes there, and it's huge. Thanks, appreciate it. Hey, no problem, Mod. Appreciate it. Sorry I had to rant at you. That wasn't mean to. I didn't think that I'd go on that long, but once I get going, I can't stop. Eduardo, the Tren Maya is under construction. It's going to be faster to go to Yucatan. Yeah, man, you want to talk about something that's interesting about the Yucatan right now is the Tren Maya. Um, I obviously have a whole live stream where I kind of went in deep on it and answered questions and stuff like that. But it's one of my most viewed. I think it is my most viewed live stream, and it is contentious. And I'm happy to tell my opinion. I think it's something that is going to drive a lot of people to not just Merida and not just Cancun, but to all of the different areas. I think it's awesome that they put like Chichen Itza in there. I think Uxmal and Tulum, like they're all stops and stuff like that. I could be wrong. Correct me if I am, but but I think there is a lot of potential with it. I know a lot of people that are excited about it, but I also know that there's a contingent and a fairly loud one that's worried about what it's doing to the environment. And my opinion on that live stream was if they do it properly and there's like as little corruption as you can possibly have, then I think it could be a very good thing. But I do understand coming from the point of people who have probably been lied to in the past and taken advantage of in the past, where they might not like the idea because they kind of look at it and go, yeah, cool. Seen this story before. So I go back and forth. Like I personally think it's a great thing for Yucatan, not just the state but the peninsula itself. But that's the worry part. But the cool part is what it's gonna do. And yeah, step on a train and go from Cancun to Merida, and it costs you very little. And all of a sudden, in a few hours, you're in Merida. And actually, the stop that they were considering initially, I don't know if it's changed since then, but was just to the north of us, like our home that we're building. So especially for Airbnb, I was like, this is probably going to be a positive thing for us. I like it. So we'll see. Again, like anytime I bring up that train, it just becomes a lightning rod on either YouTube polls or Twitter or anything else. So we'll see. Jose, you can have pretty much sea level plus being so tropical, mucha agua. Mucha agua. Yeah, it's really flat, and I didn't recognize this until I talked to several people that were down there this last time that we went down for several weeks. Just being able to say like, so what's going on with this? I was like, yeah, you can pump out the water all you want, but you better pump it miles that way, or it's coming right back in because our water table is right there. We're at sea level, so yeah, 100%. And it's funny when you think about like going to Steve, thanks for sending me those pictures on Instagram. Appreciate it. By the way, Instagram at Alexander from KC for you guys that are watching. And if you are watching and you're enjoying this, please feel free to hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Um, just a little sneaky like button comment. But yeah, it was interesting to talk to people and it was like, oh yeah, of course it's at sea level. But that's why you have to plan. I mean, literally our house, and I've been stuck on this picture with the nice 55-gallon drum. You're welcome, by the way, guys. Here's the steps. Kind of see they need to wipe them off there, brush them off. There's from the top. You can see the 20-some steps going down. That is I'm glad they put the rail up because that was intimidating. But even at the very front of our house, I'm going to leave it right there for a second because I like that view. I'm sure you can tell why. But even at the front of our house, we actually added like an 8 or 12-inch step. I think it was an 8-inch step to our front door because it was flat from the road to the sidewalk to the door. And we added an 8-inch step because even though our particular area in Chembec by Parque de la Maharata doesn't flood very often, it can. And so even though everything's tile, we wanted to make sure that we had a step up. That way the water could come up a little bit, recede, and be fine. But that is one thing to think about when you are looking to purchase a Merida is the streets do flood. There's no question about it. So just make sure that you're in an area that doesn't happen. And the best advice is go in the rainy season, which guys in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's September through November is the true rainy season. So, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. And if you're also, this is the live stream, but if you're not listening to me in the live stream and you're watching this later, correct me in the comments. But yeah, that's probably the time to go visit if you're buying a house there, because you'll be able to see if your house is flooding or not. So good call. Good call. Let's see. So again, this is kind of the same look that we were looking at for a while. You can kind of see this palm leaf is our neighbor's house, but I love it. But you can kind of see these are going to get huge. We had several of these in our house before, but they had to remove them and put them in other houses, which I think is kind of cool. Um, but these are brand new. But these will grow out and they'll look like just giant fans, like peacock feathers. But you can kind of see going up to the second level, our neighbors have this beautiful tree, like they've got lush green areas. So this isn't going to be the concrete jungle that it has looked like for quite some time. And again, you can kind of see for the other angle, there's that leaf that I told you, like there's the neighbor's tree leaf invading our space, but heck yeah, invade the space, baby. You can see they put up the bamboo here. So that's neat. And then this is the master, like that's the bunker at the very, very back of the property. So that's pretty cool. And then let's see here. Taking a look. So the original wall height was supposed to be right here, but our neighbors ended up putting patios in their property. And that you can kind of see in the back here where they've got a little covered area. We've actually been back there. Super cool neighbors, by the way. Hi, if you're watching this now or later. But they ended up building it. Well, right back here, right behind this wall right here, I really wanted an outdoor shower. And they built a patio that when I went back there and kind of looked over, they can look right in and see whatever they want. So we ended up having to build this extra wall up here for both sides privacy, because they Airbnb it out as well. But so that's originally, if you guys look at the renderings, it was here. We had to build this extra little spot here because, I mean, whoever's opinion on who wants to see what, but probably not. But yeah, so this is all going to be garden kind of over here. This is where all the cool trees are going to go, like the lime and the tangerine and stuff like that. And then this is literally, they just put the grass in here and it's all watered and it's got sprinklers and stuff like that. So no more concrete jungle. And that is the last picture on the last Instagram bit that I've got. So hope you guys like that. It's pretty cool. Anybody watching this live stream is going to be incredibly confused when they watch it after this, because I think the thumbnail that I have is like, what's the news in Merida, Mexico? And all we did was talk about my house architects, Chaya Maya, and being able to flush toilet paper. So, and by the way, if you are one of the people that's in chat now, please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. I'm only going to be on here for a couple of more minutes. I've got to go upstairs and be a husband and father for a little bit longer. So we're going to handle that when it comes. But let's see. Let's go back to... We did that. Let's go back to a few other pieces of news. Not going to deal with this. If you guys have any questions, obviously feel free to ask. The news is exactly what you make it. Eduardo, the train in Maya is under construction to go to Cancun. Will be faster. Yeah, I know. It's awesome. Like I said, for me, personally, I love it. But I'm also a foreigner. Even though I own property there, I am a foreigner. And so I am willing to listen to every single piece of advice or commentary that somebody that's living there has. So pro train, anti train, I want to get all sides so that I can get a good opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be faster. It's going to be awesome. There was one article that I keep looking for. I'm not just trying to like randomly scan, guys. There was one article that I was looking for, and I can't find it. Maybe it was the Yucatan Times. Let's look over here. They got the booster shot in Merida. Logical beliefs. I think one of the more interesting things right now that's coming out is the other crimes that are going on in like Quintana Roo. I've seen a lot of people talking about Tulum and Cancun and Playa del Carmen, but it's interesting because it's kind of like when something happens in Merida where you hear about it and then, you know, everybody from the States like takes that area off their list. It's like, guys, the city that you're currently living in had 12 of these happen last weekend. this is just a random thing. The reason that it's being reported is because it's so different than what normally happens there. So I don't like, I understand like people have to put this on their news channels and networks and stuff like that, but it's a little frustrating. Okay, I'm just gonna go to Merida News. Hooray! By the way, thank you guys so much for being a part of the channel and joining this live stream. I've always said that I'm going to do this more, and then something happens, and I don't. So I'm glad that we're able to hang out and chill out. And if you guys have questions, I see that there are, man, several of you guys on. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer them, or we can look them up together. Not going to get into politics. This is a cool article. This is something that I talked about in my last video when I was getting back to feeling like a human being and not sick anymore. More than 500,000 tourists visited Chichen Itza in the first quarter of 2022. 500,000. Now, most of the numbers that I use are pre-pandemic, and there's a reason for that. I don't think it's fair to use 2021 numbers or 2020 numbers when the entire world was shut down. It's like, why are these numbers terrible? It's like, well, because nobody could go there. But yeah, Chichen Itza numbers are continuing to go up. They're expecting 2.3 million attendees by the end of 2022, which is a lot of people, but I think that's fantastic for the area. So that wasn't a huge one. I just remember the one that I wanted to bring up. And I probably lost it again. But yeah, that was one of the big things. Like I think that that's really nice to kind of see people getting back to it. The cruise ships, the port, you know, in Progresso, everything's kind of kicking back up. And again, like I'm not getting into politics. I'm just happy that this is happening because it means that a lot of businesses and areas and residents are going to be able to take advantage of that in a positive way. So go all of that. And again, just like Eduardo was saying, like Maya Train, once we get really back to normal and that thing is constructed, pretty cool. I remember what I was looking for, and it's gonna be. You guys are probably gonna be able to tell what it is the moment that I either see it or click on it. I'm just gonna search for it. So I'm gonna switch back real quick here to my big face, and go and just type this in real quick here. Da, 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 da. There it is. It was Yucatan magazine. Switch back. Boom. So there's that. And then I saw an article, and I don't think this is the one. They are finally starting they're finally starting apparently the brand new airport for Merida. They broke ground. I was actually looking for that article and I didn't find it. I'll find it in a second. It's all good. Eduardo, construction can be faster. It's going to be electric train. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, again, like there are so many things that, especially from the U.S. perspective, and I don't know if it's the same way when you're in Merida, but trying to get information. I found the article. ownmexico.org. Trying to get like real information is really difficult because you can find some, but there's no like cohesive source. Like I would at least pray, because it'd be a lot easier, that I'd be able to find every single article that I was looking for, just boom, right there. Easy enough. Easy peasy. But for the most part, what I find is that, I get a little bit of information here, a little bit of information here, and then try to piece it together. So I have to just understand my own limitations. I'm going to switch back here to that. Work on new Merida Airport to begin in April. For those of you who don't know, it's going to be way south of the city. So excited. I'm not going to get political again, but they just recently renovated this airport to handle basically double the capacity that it was at before. And now they're starting a new one way away from the city. Cool. Here it is. So, those of you who don't know, that is the current airport. And I'm trying to see if you guys can see what I'm seeing. Maybe not. So the current airport's here, and then like you can kind of see up towards the top of the picture, that's the north side of Merida. And then way out here in Pashila, I think is how it's pronounced. If it's not, let me know. That's where they're thinking that this new airport should be located. So just to get from there to the original location, I think I looked it up last time. It's like in and around half an hour. And so everybody's like, how is this going to work? Where are their cabs? Where are their large vehicles? What's the situation? And it's like, okay, there's I mean, this is kind of the thing. It's like, let's look at just using the words as it is. The new air terminal at Paushila, and again, tell me if I'm mispronouncing that, was promoted by Yucatecan businessman Jose Antonio Lore de Moyo Gomari. I'm sure I butchered that. He will develop the entire associated complex, and ASUR will manage it as they do with the existing complex, the one in Cancun, and 7 other Mexican airports. Moving the airport will also free up acres of land for new commercial residential development within the city, where land is at a premium. When the airfield was first established in the 1920s, its location was considered remote. And you ain't seen nothing yet. So, I guess we should leave it with that. That wonderful note. We'll leave it with that picture and my big nose right in there. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this live stream. This is awesome. I love getting to spend time with you all and just answering questions randomly in chat and stuff like that. Just to do my little spiel as I end this. Again, my name is Alexander Howell. This channel deals with travel and real estate with regard to Mexico, especially Merida in general. And we obviously have a house there, so I feel like we can speak with at least a slight authority on the process of that. But if you do want to follow me on other programs or other social media links, we've gone over my Instagram here at Alexander from KC is in Kansas City. So at Alexander from KC, you can do that on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, where I will be gaming. It's going to be a little chill. It'll probably be like Twitch is known for like gaming kind of content. I'm not really going to do that, but it'll definitely be more of a chill out, talk about things other than what this channel is focused on. And yeah, so do that. If you have any quick questions, always feel free to send me a text at 816-727-7740. Again, 816-727-7740. That literally goes right to this phone. So it goes right to me. And then if you want to email me, just go to my website, alexanderhowell.com, click contact us, and that literally sends an email to me. No junk or anything like that, just right in my inbox. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I'm not going to be able to do the true sign-off as I normally do because I'm going to have to click off. But thank you for being here. It's always really cool to do this. And Cruzy, you have a nice day too. But as always, peace. And we're clicking.